Hello and welcome back to JBCTR. Now today we have this Fiesta ST Line X, which has a whole host of new and improved options on it since I did my last Ford Fiesta options review. So I thought I would show you them. So, as I mentioned, when I bought my Fiesta ST3 about 2.5 years ago, it had pretty much all the options on it that you could buy at the time. But now we're obviously 2.5 years on, options have changed, and also this being the little 1 litre hybrid version, you can actually get a few more options on this that you can't get on the STs, and we'll cover that in a minute. So this video is probably going to be quite quick fire because there's a lot of options to get through, but we'll start with these. Now, these are the upgraded LED headlights, and in the daytime, I think they look awesome. Now, this is not a new option. I had this on my ST3, so I've lived with these for, 2.5 years, and my opinion is still the same as it was at the beginning. These are brilliant. And the reason I think they're so good is because Ford, for years, stuck halogens in their Fiesta, and they were like driving with candle lights. So these LEDs, both dip beam and main beam, are just insane. I wish I could show you on the camera, but kind of hard to film. So yeah, this is my best effort. Next up is the new wireless charger, and it is in the center console in the same place that I retrofitted my own one to my Fiesta ST. However, the Ford one sits a little bit higher up in the sort of gap, which means you should be able to put bigger phones in it. So this is an iPhone Pro Max, and if I'm honest, I mean, with the case on, it doesn't charge just by throwing it in, but when you push it down, you can just about get it to charge, and then you can also see the little LED light to show that it's charging too. Now, the next option that I would highly recommend you spec to any Fiesta is the B&O Sound System. It is insane. I mean, especially when you compare it to the old Mark 7 of old. I had it fitted to my own car, and then 2.5 years later, I still think it's great. And the reason I think it's great is you can turn it up nice and loud, and there's no distortion. However, the reason I wanted to include it in this video is because it has changed slightly. So in my car, the sub was fitted in like where the spare wheel should go, and there's a weird half moon shape, as you can see on screen now. In this car, they've moved it to the sides of the boot. Let me show you. Now, in the boot, to me, it kind of looks the same size. We've lost the cubby holes on either side because I used to have little indents in there where I'd keep my cleaning stuff. And the subwoofer is now on this side. So if you pull back the carpet, you can see it. And if I'm honest, I don't think the speaker itself looks as beefy as the one that was in mine. And to add to that, if you look under the boot floor where my subwoofer used to be, there's now just an empty hole. So I don't really understand why they moved it, because there's less space for it there, and subwoofers need lots of air. And now there's just a big hole underneath. We haven't gained any boot space. So I imagine that was a cost thing. Right, well, I think that is as much as we can cover in a car park. Let's show you some more out on the road.
So quit chasing all the time. It won't do you good. And soon you cross the line. You should change your mind.
Right then, next up on the list is adaptive cruise control, which is something I couldn't have on the Fiesta ST. And the reason for that is you need a radar on the front of the car, and the Fiesta STs have an intercooler where the radar needs to be. But given that this is not an ST and it's an ST line, it means I can experience the adaptive cruise control. So we press this button here to set the speed. So I'm mine at 70, and it's just like normal cruise control. Now you can also click the other button, which gives you, well, allows you to choose how close you want to be to the car in front, which is quite cool, and I'm pretty cautious, so I think I'll probably leave it as far away as possible. And now we're going to have to wait a second until I come across a slow moving car, because just my luck, I have a completely clear road in front of me. So give me 2 seconds. Now finally I have some traffic to try this out, and as you can see on my dash, there is a picture of a little car which says there is a car in front, and it's holding me quite a long way from the car in front, to a point where I think it's kind of a little bit unnecessary. So I'm going to click my thing to make it a little bit closer. We'll go for the full Audi, I think, actually. Let's go right up. Let's do that. Okay, well, the car in front is doing about 65-ish and now braking, and it's tracking it quite nicely. Actually, thoroughly recommend this. This is banging. That means I can then pull out into the lane next door when it's clear, and it will speed back up to 70 where I should be. Boom. Let's do that. Right then, so I've actually brought the Fiesta to an environment where it should be kind of recognisable, and we're going to try out this auto park feature, which is a little bit of a weird one. So first we press this button here, and then we select that space. So now we're scanning. Okay, so space has been found. Drive forwards, shift to reverse, drive backwards slowly. I'm driving, oh, this is very weird. It's getting really quite close to this car. Oh. Okay, it's right, so now I've got to stop and shift into first gear. Well, it got it in the space eventually, but I think it's kind of limited because it seems to use other cars to get it into the space as opposed to the lines. So if the other cars are parked incorrectly, then you're also going to park incorrectly. Bit of a gimmick, because really I could have parked it way quicker myself. So if you really can't park, this will save you and get you into a space, but I think if you've managed to pass a driving test, you're probably better. So next up, I wanted to explore the new dead keys. Now, these keys are not an optional extra, they're just fitted as standard on any Fiesta with keyless entry. Now, the issue they had previously was that these keys were always amplifying the signal to open the car. So if they were out of range, obviously no issue, but it meant that the crims could come along and amplify that signal and then gain access to your car when it's sat on your driveway. However, in around about 2019, Ford introduced these dead key things. So if they're sat still for 45 seconds, they stop emitting their signal, and that means it can't be amplified and your car can't be stolen. So if I wave this around a bit and then stick it on the table, it works. Now if you leave that for, I'm gonna go for a minute and I'll time it on my phone, we'll see if I can still open the car. Right, so this key should now be dead. So theoretically, this shouldn't open. That's awesome. That's wicked. And then if I move it, stick it back on the table. Brilliant. That is ingenious. So there you have it, a review of the options that I didn't have on my Fiesta ST3. Now I hope that if you're looking at purchasing one of these, or you just like Fiestas in general, that you found today's video useful, and if you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of me, Fiestas maybe, and other car content, then feel free to subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.
There goes a sight from my soul.